In today's video, I want to talk about ephemera and die cut storage and introduce a system that I started 2 years ago. If this video is familiar to you, it was originally posted on my scrapbooking channel, Tammy Time Design, in May of 2024. I no longer publish to that channel and it will go away soon, but there are a variety of videos like this one that I think have broader appeal to paper crafters in general and not just scrapbookers. We are now Phantom Charm Studios, an Etsy shop selling clip art, pattern paper, and junk journal kits. I have turned my focus to junk journals, but I was a scrapbooker for over 25 years, and I still have a room full of supplies that I need to use up. For many, many years, this is how I organized my ephemera in little bags in iris containers labeled die cuts. It worked great for a long time, but as I kept adding on, it became time consuming to find anything. Eventually, I worked myself into 3 full iris bins of die cuts, and I just wasn't getting to everything. I needed something to change, and I will talk through the evolution and the baby steps that got me to the system I'm still using today. No matter if you're a card maker, a scrapbooker, make junk journals, or all of the above, we all have a lot of supplies that we're trying to keep track of. There is no one size fits all storage option that's going to work for everyone. Everyone's brain is different. Everyone thinks about products differently, and everyone creates their own way. The best storage systems support the way you think and how you create. What I like about what I'm going to share today is that this system can support many different ways of organizing. You can do it by color, you can do it by theme, you can do it by designer, you can do it by shape, you could do it by season, and any combination in between. At the end of the video, I'll show an update on how my system is working 2 years later and the results I've had, and what's changing now that I'm junk journaling more and not scrapbooking as much. The closest I ever came to changing my system was when I became a member of Janet Madison's RTS Scrapbooking on Patreon and learned about her color binders and sticker binders. There is a video on YouTube where she talks about the system. If you're interested in seeing more details about what she does, I will link that video below. Essentially, she has various ways that she adheres die cuts, chipboard, and stickers into a notebook or 3-ring binders so she can just flip through the pages. I wanted to try her system, but I wasn't ready to redo my entire stash on the chance that it wouldn't work for me. I decided to give it a shot with some random color die cuts. This front section of this notebook is multicolor, and further back, you'll see these are organized by color. I just added mounting squares to stick the die cuts to the page. I like seeing everything. I was pretty happy with how this turned out. So I put this book on the shelf in my space and promptly forgot about it. I created this book like 6 months ago, and I think I've pulled it off the shelf exactly twice. That is all. And I noticed that when I pull something off the page to use, this happens. Look, it's a minor inconvenience. The die cut is still usable. I suppose I could have cut the adhesive squares in half to have a smaller amount of adhesive. I could also have invested in repositionable tape runners, but I didn't want to buy adhesive for an experiment. I just used what I had. While this notebook idea was not ideal for me, it's definitely closer to where I want to go. The important lesson I did learn is that if I have things in books sitting on a shelf, I'm going to forget they exist. I learned the same thing about my collection packs. For me, stuff sitting on a shelf doesn't work. And the idea of transferring my entire die cut collection into notebooks like this wasn't practical with the adhesive I was using. If it didn't work for this small collection, there's no way in the world it was going to work with my entire collection. Fast forward to a couple of weeks ago. I watched a video from Crafty Concepts with Erin, and she shared she's now organizing some die cuts in these sticky photo mounting sheets. I will also include a link to her video below. I know. I had the same question. Aren't they harmful and full of acid? It seems these sheets got an upgrade and you can get them acid free now. And yet, we know what these things did to our photos back in the 80s and the 90s. Can we really trust these? I took the risk and bought a big pack of 100 to test them out for myself. What impressed me right off the back is that the sticky page is not super strong. It's sticky enough, but it doesn't feel the way that it used to feel back in the day. I can remember sticking photos to these, and the adhesive was so strong it would eat the photo and you couldn't remove it from the sheet. This sticky page is not like that. It's really promising. So I started transferring my die cuts over to these sheets, and I'm not going to store them in a binder on the shelf. I picked up this bin at Walmart. It's 6.7 inches by 13.1 inches. But before you get too excited, this bin narrows at the bottom. So it's 13 inches wide at the top and just shy of 12 inches at the bottom, of course. So it doesn't work for 12 by 12 paper. That's why I picked it up. I was hoping to use it to hold page kits. But not all is lost because these 8.5 by 11 sheets fit in here just fine. This stack right here holds two-thirds of my entire die cut collection. That's how far I've gotten. And it's only 27 of the 100 sheets that came in my pack. I will easily get all of my die cuts into the system with room to grow. I'm super happy. How awesome is it to be able to flip through die cuts and be able to see everything at a glance? This section right here has all of my Paige Evans flowers. I can see everything I have, which was not happening when I had to go through bags. As I'm adding these to sheets, I am putting them down together with all of the pieces I have from that same collection. But over time, there could be a mixture of things on every page. As I use something up, I will want to fill that space in with something else, and it may not be Paige Evans. And having these pages loose and not in binders will work so much better for me. When I flip to a page and see something I want, I can just bring it to my project and I don't have to open the binder mechanism to take it out. Let's say I'm pulling die cuts to work on a layout with this doodlebug paper. I can bring over these die cuts and flip through to find something that coordinates. The best thing for me is that it doesn't matter what collection the die cuts originally came from. I'm just looking for something that coordinates. It doesn't have to be Doodlebug. And that is what I feel was always missing for me when I tried to keep everything together as a collection. If I'm only using die cuts with papers from the collection it came from, I could be missing out on using them with other papers they coordinate with just as well. Who could have known that these Jen Hadfield flowers from the Chasing Adventure collection would work with this doodlebug paper? The colors are perfect. Maybe not of these die cuts will work. The pinks don't, but this flower looks great. Mixing and matching is very much part of my style and process, and this makes it so much easier for me. And I think I'm actually going to use more of my supplies. Let me open this and show you how easy these come off the page. It's not a super strong adhesive, but everything stays stuck down. I'm not damaging my die cut when I pull it off. And there's no residue transfer onto my die cut. It's clean. And the sheet is still sticky. And you can see that everything else stays stuck. If you pull die cuts and don't use them on your page, you can put them back where you found them or just add them to a new page, whatever works for you. I'm sure people will have questions. Are these sheets truly acid free? To be honest, I don't know. They say they are acid free. The only way to really know is to see what happens to my die cuts over time. Is that a risk? Yes. But I truly feel it's a low risk now that I've worked with these a bit. The sticky texture on the sheets is pretty low tack. It's sticky enough to keep something in place, but it's not too sticky. Once you put something down, you can get it back off easily. Will the sticky texture wear down over time? Yeah, I'm sure it will. I don't know how quickly at this point because I just started using these. But 5 years from now, maybe some of the sheets will wear down if I'm using die cuts, adding new die cuts, taking off die cuts, and adding new ones again. The good news is that when you peel off a die cut, it's not transferring adhesive. I think that these are going to hold up for many, many uses, but that's just not clear yet. While there are still some unknowns, for now, I'm really happy with how this is turning out. Being able to see all these die cuts at a glance is awesome. One of the other things I'm hoping will work is that when I'm working on a layout and need a little something, I can flip through these sheets and possibly find it. Right now, I rarely go back into my bins and pull bags and go through stuff when I'm in the middle of creating. That's why I pull so much stuff for every layout. I'm hoping that this will save me some time and help me use my stash at the same time. And this stack here is 2/3 of my die cuts, and I've only used a quarter of the sheets I purchased. I'm finding that you can get a lot on each sheet, which is fantastic. Like I showed before, this is the plastic bin I'm going to keep the sheets in. I just personally do not like 3-ring binders for anything other than my layouts. I use 3-ring binders for my albums, but I'm not pulling my albums off the shelf every time I create and opening that mechanism. I know for me, if I kept these sheets in binders, I won't pull the books off the shelf. This bin will sit on top of my desk or go right under my desk where I can see it and easily access these pages. If you don't like the idea of a bin and, like me, don't want to use a 3-ring binder, here's a simple cardboard magazine holder that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I don't know if Dollar Tree keeps these in stock all year or if you find them more at back to school time, but this will perfectly hold these sheets. This will keep them contained and covered up if you're someone that prefers to keep things out of sight until you need them. So, just another option that might spark an idea for you. Remember my notebook with all of the die cuts by color? I have started to go through the book and transfer these die cuts to the sticky sheets. So not only will I have sections with die cuts from the same collection all together, as much as possible, like all of my Paige Evans flowers and Maggie Holmes, there will be a section of random die cuts like this by color. Another thing I'm going to do that I'm super excited about is I'm transferring all of my die cuts with words. I did try to keep die cuts like this that just had a word on them in another spot in my space. I didn't keep these with specific collections in a bag because a word could be used on any layout. A word didn't just need to be used with the collection it came from. This is basically how I had my words in just one of these toolbox type bins in a drawer. Whenever I came across die cuts with just words, I'd toss them in a bin like this, and then I'd rifle through the bin anytime I wanted a word. This is not very efficient. Much better to see each piece on its own. These won't be organized by color. I thought about doing that, but if I want a specific word, like today, I'd rather come here and see all the die cuts with the word today and pick the one that might work for my project. As of right now, I'm trying to keep like words together to make it easier to find what I need. If I can't find the right today, maybe snapshot of today will work. Gathering up all of my words is going to take some time, but I'm already loving this idea. How about a demonstration? I wanted to show you how easy this is and how quickly it goes, and to give you a few tips I've already learned. Here's a flower ephemera pack from Simple Stories. I don't remember the name of this collection, but these are all flowers and floral clusters. Tip number one: as satisfying as it may feel to cram as much on the sheet as possible, you want to make sure there's some of the sticky sheet all the way around your die cut so that the top sheet has open sticky space to stick to, if that makes sense. Just leave a little bit of space between each die cut. You can fill in with all of the smaller pieces. You just don't want to overlap things too much. If you do need to overlap a bit, it's better to overlap in the middle of the sheet. Tip number two: Make sure you leave some space at the edge of the sticky texture for the top sheet to cling to as well. Don't fill the sheet up all the way over to the edge of the sticky texture on the hole punch side. The top sheet needs to stick all the way down the edge to secure the page. The top sheet does stick really well to the sticky texture. There just needs to be enough open space around the die cuts to do that. You do want to maximize the space and fit things together, but just leave some space between each piece and it will work. And it really does go pretty quickly. It's only taken me a few days to move 2/3 of my die cuts. I should have the rest of my ephemera moved within the next few days. One last note, I mentioned stickers in the beginning. I have a feeling I'm working my way to adding all of my stickers to these sheets as well, but I haven't figured out exactly how yet. Why are these stickers so old, you ask? I'm not doing a good job of using them. I do pull these out sometimes to use on my layouts, but I can't see everything at a glance, and that seems to be what works best for me. I have a feeling I'll be experimenting with ways to get all of my stickers, including all of the 12 by 12 sticker sheets from the collection kits, into the same system so I can see all of my supplies when I'm creating my page kits. I don't know how they will get onto the sticky pages. Maybe I'll cut the sticker sheets and keep the backings on them, but that seems like a lot of work. More likely, I'll use wax paper somehow. That's going to be time consuming too, but I'm willing to take the time to do it if it actually works. Fast forward, it's now May of 2026, and I've been using my system for 2 years. First update, I never did anything with my stickers. It was too complicated to even get started, so I left all of my stickers alone. I did purchase this spiral notebook that has sticker release paper. When I'm planning a layout, I could go through some stickers, pull them off the sheet they came on, add them to this book, and then put this book on my desk while I was creating. Anything I didn't use could stay in the book, or I could put them back on the sticker sheets they came from. It's not perfect. Of course, I could buy 10 of these and move all of my stickers to books like this, but based on how badly it went when I put my die cuts inside a notebook and never touched them, I just did not want to do that to my stickers. Second update, I still love having my die cuts on these sticky pages. This system has worked so well for me, and I'm using my die cuts more. I love that these pages are loose in this bin and I can just flip through them. I keep this bin under my desk and pull it out when I'm creating. I actually have two now, and I don't keep them overstuffed so that I can flip through and see everything. When I remove a die cut from one of the sheets, there's no sticky transfer. The die cuts come off of the backing clean, and it's still sticky enough to add another die cut to the sheet. As long as there's some clear space for the cover to attach to, the cover sticks great. I've seen no deterioration of my die cuts and no discoloration. The third and the final update is for any junk journalers out there who print from digital kits and have leftovers. This can work for you too. I had some leftover ephemera from my sea glass summer kit and put everything on these sheets. I print all of my ephemera on Pen and Gear 110-pound premium cardstock. I wasn't sure if it would work for copyweight paper, but it turns out it's fine. This is copy paper and there's no issue. It's not too sticky and there's no sticky transfer to the paper. It still works great. Another question I may get is how is what I'm sharing now different from this ephemera storage binder that I made from a composition notebook? This notebook is just for things that I've set aside to use in my junk journals. I use both systems and both work great for me. If you don't have a ton of ephemera or you're just starting out and need something to start with, this composition notebook is great. If you have a lot of stuff, the sticky sheets are fantastic. I have linked several things in the description box below, including the same sticky sheets that I use, as well as a few other options should this one ever go out of stock. Thanks so much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I'll see you in the next video.